Finally time for the Guardians to call up Bo Naylor. We put a community poll up. 90% voted yes. I think they're going to be sitting here with you guys where it's a yes, right?
Whose phone is on? Who's be that you, G?
They keep going on.
Come on now, you got to mute your phone.
I thought it was you. It didn't this little chirp. It didn't reset. Look. You
During my ad
you
read,
see it?
G, how dare you?
I mean,
crazy.
honestly, at this point, we talked to Tim Kirkshin. He thinks they're going to give. They want to give Zunino a little more chance to turn it around.
I think he's crazy. I think Tim said a lot of things that were spot on there.
Yeah.
I think he's dead wrong on that. The fact that they haven't called up Bo Naylor yet,
he
it
didn't
baffles
say
me.
whether it was the right move. He said that's what they're going to do right now.
Well, then the Guardians, who do a lot of things right,
Yeah.
are dead wrong on this one. You look at the numbers, and I know baseball is so subjective. As Tim said, you can get hot, you can get cold. Well, hey, Bo Naylor's been pretty good in AAA this year. 9 home runs, 37 hits. That's more than Cam Gallagher and Mike Zunino combined times 2. So you look at that alone, give me Bo Naylor. We talk about the pitching staff with the Guardians, how the young guys, Bybee, Allen, and even Battenfield for a little bit, kind of sparked their rotation. Well, this offense is absolutely abysmal. Why not bring up a guy who at least you can see may be able to provide a spark for the rest of the guys in that lineup? And if nothing else, he can't be worse. He literally cannot be worse than what they've had.
No, it's time. I think, the only thing I can think of is that they're waiting till June in terms of all this contract nonsense. But they haven't really been doing that, as Jason brought up yesterday, and he's right. So, they did sign Zunino, but they didn't pay him that much money.
And sometimes you're wrong, and it's okay. Sometimes you're wrong.
Honestly, they're probably going to give him another week or so. But by June 1st, if Zunino hasn't turned it around, I'd cut him. Not
Just cut him?
Yeah, because I'd rather have Cam Gallagher's a backup catcher.
Yes.
So you leave him as your backup, and I think Zunino's shot. It looks like he's shot.
Have you seen?
He had a serious. When they signed him, my concern was he had been a good power hitter in the past, and he had been a good defensive player in the past. But he had a really serious injury last year, and he's older.
Yeah. And
he got off to a hot start with the bat. Remember the first 2 weeks he was hot.
He had more doubles in like 3 games than Austin Hedges had in 3 years.
Red hot for 2 weeks, but now he looks completely done.
How old is he?
He's not that old.
But catchers get older quicker.
Catchers older quicker. And have you seen his May stats? I know you're a big stats guy. And we pull up the catcher stat graphic I made. Zunino's 0 for 27 with 21 strikeouts in May.
Oh, no.
0 for 27 with 21 strikeouts in May.
He was my backup catcher on my fantasy baseball team. I just cut him this morning.
0 for 27 with 21 strikeouts.
When you got 21 strikeouts out of 27 plate appearances, that means you're not even going up there with an approach.
No.
That means you're just swinging at pitches, bro. There's no, unacceptable. He should have already been chilling, and I was going to wait till Memorial Day, but listen, when you play baseball, you're not even up there with, third base coach say, listen, hey, get in there and hit your pitch.
That is, that's like record-breaking.
Yes.
1 for 46.
And guess what? The one came yesterday.
Did it?
Yes. Cam Gallagher had an RBI single yesterday. They were 0 for... I guess he was 1 for 3 yesterday, so they were 0 for 43 heading into yesterday with 1 RBI.
Combined.
That's combined. That is Zunino and Gallagher combined. Zunino by himself in 15 games in May is 0 for 27 with 21 strikeouts.
That is unacceptable. Like at the end of the day, you owe it to your team to put somebody in there that at least has a shot.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You owe it to the other guys because at the end of the day, they looking at those numbers just like you are. They know what the guy is. And if you see a guy killing it down there, and it just so happens to be somebody's brother on the team, you know they really know it. Like, man, we need to put him.
So, guys, Mike Zunino, on April 10th, he had 3 hits. Then 3 days later, 3 games later, he had 2 hits on April 16th.
He has 14 hits all season. So.
Yeah, since April 16th, he has 4 hits.
Oh, hell no.
4, and I think 3 of the 4 are singles.
And I do want to make one thing clear. AAA stats and Major League stats
of course, totally
are different. And you can't look at them apples to apples and say if he's doing this here, it's not going to be there. So when you see the Bo Naylor stats.
No, but here's the thing. Bo Naylor is having a great season. He is a top prospect, so it's not like he's coming out of nowhere.
He was a first-round pick.
He was on the squad last year.
It's time. It is time. In the end, maybe they're going to wait another week. Who knows? It's time to call him up and make him the everyday catcher. That's why you cut Zunino. Move on from him. My guess is they'll keep Zunino and get rid of Cam Gallagher. I don't think it really matters. I'd get rid of. I think Zunino's cooked. He's 32 years old, which is not that old, but for a catcher,
It's
there's not a
older.
lot of catchers that are really good past 32.
Yeah.
There's some special guys that are, but like
It's the rare
he's
breed.
done.
Yeah, it's the-
He's done. He can't play in the field. He's terrible in the field. It's kind of crazy at this point. Like the Guardians have been getting essentially zero from catchers since Roberto Perez and Yan Gomes.
Yeah.
And it's been a number of years since those guys now. And those guys gave you some production, and those guys gave you great defense. But Hedges was useless. Maley is useless. At least Hedges gave you a good pitch call. Now, Hedges, by the way, everybody's like, he's great defensively. No, he was great at pitch calling. He couldn't throw anybody out either. And he
Fact.
couldn't hit.
Fact.
He's not he shouldn't be a major leaguer.
Well, you know
But
what's funny,
neither
Bo?
should Zunino right now.
We had this conversation multiple times last year.
Yeah.
The Guardians' catching combination of Maley and Hedges was historically bad.
Yeah.
And somehow they got worse this year.
Yeah,
And somehow they actually
it is worse
downgraded
because
from.
they went from like a 1 to a 0.5.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what they've got.
We went from what we were calling
Historically bad to even more historically
to
bad.
catastrophically
that
historically
just
bad.
goes to show you, like, you can't. So they get nothing in terms of any sort of production offensively from center field. They don't get anything behind the plate.
Yeah.
Very little from right field.
Very little for right field. And
Yeah.
your left fielder, which is a power position, they're using that
Yeah.
If Quan played center field, I wouldn't have a problem with it.
Right, yeah. Kwan's good, but there's no power, and you're not getting any power out of shortstop either because
No.
Rosario doesn't hit for power either. And even Ramirez's power has been down. So who's their leading home run hitter?
I
Naylor?
think Naylor with 4.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
5, 4 or 5.
24 home runs is batshit crazy. I mean,
They played 43 games now.
Yeah, they're averaging
That's
a half a
home run per game in today's era of baseball,
Yeah, I mean,
where
it's-
everyone
you
is hitting
can't
home
be
run.
that low. You can't consistently score runs when you're hitting 1 home run every 2 games.
I wanted to ask Tim if he thinks the Guardians' small ball style of play is sustainable, not just to win a division in a bad AL Central, but can you win a World Series like that and bad job out of me?
I don't even think they can sustain it 2 years in a row playing like that, because like some of the hits you hit it right at somebody, right? Or you found a hole somewhere, or it's a bloop single. Like in baseball, sometimes people clean that up.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing, guys. I disagree. I don't think there's enough teams to do it, so we don't have enough of a sample size. Here's the thing. They're not doing it, though.
Right.
They're not. It's not. We said last year they hit for average and did all these got
They're
on
not.
base.
They're second.
not doing
They're
that.
28th in the league in
and
average.
They're failing at that.
Therefore,
And
I
this
don't think
idea-
it's sustainable.
And by the way, I'm just going to say it. I hate to say it, but as usual, I was right. I had my man Jay Crawford and all the Miles Strawites telling me he's having a great spring training. He's having a great spring training.
He
And
bull
then-
waited him out.
And then the first couple of weeks of the season, he
was
actually
hot.
started
To
hot.
his credit.
And what do his numbers look like now? The same as they always do.
Yeah.
No power.
Regress to
no
the
hitting.
mean.
I've got basically 3 spots. Again, last year you had center field, no production.
Catcher.
DH, no production, and catcher, no production. Now it's changed. Josh Bell's been okay since this awful start.
Okay,
He's been
yeah.
okay. But he's not been as good as we hoped. And so they're getting nothing. DH is better than last year, but catcher is worse, if you can believe that. But it was crap both. Center field, you're getting the same lousy nothing, and you get nothing out of right field. Last year, at least
Yeah.
Oscar Gonzalez gave you production.
You want to hear a funny little tidbit on the catcher stats, by the way, the historically bad catcher stats?
Yeah.
So they have 2 RBIs in May.
Yeah.
Zunino's 1 came on a bases loaded walk.
Right,
And then
yeah.
Cam Gallagher's was a single. So it's
Yeah.
not even 2 real hits that led to RBIs. It was a single.
One
and-
hit.
And
guy walking.
I'm gonna give you
50%.
I wasn't gonna say it, but I think
Say it.
you're starting to see the decline of Jose Ramirez.
I don't think so.
I'm not buying it yet. Not buying it
I
yet.
think you're not gonna see a jump off a roof, but I'm thinking I don't think you're starting to see a decrease in power.
I think it's too early. It's too much track record.
Hey, listen, how old
If
is
he finishes the season with 16 home runs, then. But I got to see it. I think he could get red hot with home runs.
How old is he?
But 29, I think.
28, 29.
Yeah, I don't think he's.
But is he a good in shape 28, 29? He ain't never been
No, he's never been in great shape.
He's never been in
but
great shape.
I got to see it.
right.
I can't write off his power this early,
All right.
but it's been disappointing. I'm with you there.